Welcome to the Slice of Anime Podcast, the weekly podcast where we go over whatever's going on in the anime world, talk about some topics that I come up with, and go over a few questions from the audience, as well as pretty much whatever I think is best to talk about for this week. And we got a few things to talk about this week, not a whole lot, but a few interesting things nevertheless. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, before we do get started, I'd like to ask you to like and subscribe. It really helps me out in keeping me informed on what you enjoy, what you do not, and that really helps the channel grow and the podcast grow. And let me know whether last week we had an hour and 12-minute podcast. Now, this week will not be an hour and 12 minutes, but let me know what you think. Do you enjoy these longer podcasts, or do you prefer them being the 30 to 40-minute range? I know that in terms of watch time, it was about the same as normal, but I know that a few of you weren't able to watch the entire thing, and that's understandable. So just let me know, and that'll help me kind of know what to do for the future. But anyway, let's go ahead and get right on into the news. So we're going to structure the news a little bit different going forward. Not only am I going to tell you a little bit about the anime world news, I'm also going to tell you a little bit about the anime figure world news, and pretty much what figures are now on sale or up for pre-order that I think you might find interesting. So we'll get to that here in just a minute, but first off, let's talk about what is new in the anime world news. And the first of those is that Gushing Over Magical Girls has a event planned for October 5th. Now, we don't know the details of this. If it's anything like before, there could be like, there was an event for Comey Can't Communicate a few years ago, and they really hyped it up, and it ended up being a beauty like care line that they were going to do for a collaboration. So it could be nothing, or it could be season 2, maybe, we don't know. So that is October 5th, so it's still a few months away. Even if they do announce a season 2, that means season 2 wouldn't be coming until later, middle to late 2025, which is to be expected if we do get it. I don't think they ever intended to make a season 2 until they saw the really good sales of it. So I think it is very possible there will be a season 2. Is this event going to be announcing season 2? We don't know, but we'll see whenever we get it. The next thing here is Ranma Half. I don't know how to say that correctly, but this is a remake they're going to be making of a classic anime. This is from MAPPA, and this is going to be an interesting one because Urusei Yatsura is an anime that we got a little bit ago, and I think it just finished up. But I am currently going through and watching that, and it is a remake of an older series, and I really enjoy it. But it's not made by MAPPA. MAPPA is like a very big production company, so I'm interested to see how they handle this. Are they going to, put the same care into it as they do like Attack on Titan, Chainsaw Man, Jujutsu Kaisen? Or are they going to say, do they make Jujutsu Kaisen? I think they make Jujutsu Kaisen. I don't know. Don't hold me to that. But are they going to put the same effort into that they do these other major series? Hopefully they do. Hopefully it doesn't get put onto the back burner for a lot of these. I would love to see them try anime like this that is more of a different style than what they're used to. I like when anime studios will kind of go out of their wheelhouse and do different things. I think it really tells you how well this anime studio really is. If they can do a bunch of different styles, if they can do comedy, if they can do, serious drama and everything, and it works out really well, then I think it says a lot about the studio. If they can't, then we'll know, hey, that they're pretty much a one-trick pony, but time will tell. I don't know a lot about this series. I've heard it's not that, or I've heard it's pretty good. Not that bad is what I was going to say. But I've heard that it's pretty good. I'm interested in seeing what it does. Now, this one is an interesting one because it did have some nudity scenes in the original version. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'll all be censored. That'll go into our topic for today, so stay tuned for that. But we'll see when that comes and how it will be. The final news topic for the anime portion of it is that Quintessential Quintuplets is getting a new anime project. This will be airing in theaters in the fall, and then it will be followed up by a TV premiere. By the way, the theaters are only in Japan. You will not be getting that in America. This is an interesting topic because the quintuplets have now had 2 pretty much OVAs, like brief series. We got the one to where it was like the 2 or 3 episode or 3 or 4 episode like little mini series thing they did, and then now we're getting another one. I still don't think that they ever aired that original little chunk in Crunchyroll or anything like that. And I don't know if they'll do the same with this one, or if we will get it at the same time. Hopefully we do. I don't know. I hope we do. I hope it's not just like a, hey, no one really cares about this anymore, because obviously they do. Obviously this is a series that is still selling a lot of merch, I would assume. I would assume this is probably why they keep making it, is because they want to keep that merch line going. And I think they are really making a lot of money off that, and they want to keep it going. This is going to be covering the honeymoon arc. That doesn't exist in the manga, so it's anime original. Well, what will it be like? Will it be any good? We'll have to see. I'm holding out hope that this is really good, and maybe we'll get some more going forward. So we will see. We will see. And this is actually the first time we were really getting adult quintuplets. Like, we've got like high school quintuplets. Now we're getting like adult quintuplets. That could be really interesting. And I hope I'm right. I hope it is really interesting, because I think it really could be. Now this next segment here is going over some anime figures that have been announced or have been up for pre-order this week. Now, we didn't really get any big announcements this week, but we did get 3 of them that I think are pretty interesting. Now, these were previously announced, but now they are up for pre-order. And if you'd like to pre-order these, you can find a link down in the description to Entertainment Earth. You can use my code or my link down in there, and you can find these figures on that website and get 10% off or for in-stock stuff if you don't want to get these figures. Or you can use that link, and it will help out the channel as a whole to help me be able to get more stuff so that I can show it off to you. So here we go. The first one here is a Bochi figure. Now, this is a cute little figure here of Bochi in like a waitress outfit here. I don't know the price on this one, but I would assume it's probably around that $60 to $80 range. And I think it's worth it. I think it's a cute little figure. I probably won't pick this one up. I have no real issues with it, but I just don't really, it's just not for me. A lot of people like stuff like this. It's just not my cup of tea, but I really like it. I think it works. The reason I'm not like, this is great, is because I prefer like their main outfits usually. Yeah, I'll do different outfits whenever it comes to like Rent-A-Girlfriend or, different series. But whenever it comes to like a series like this, I like to just have the main outfits, and that's about it. I'm not really getting any of like the pop-up parade stuff with this series. Not that I don't like this series. I love this series, but it's just not for me. So it is up for pre-order, but it is not something I'm going to be pre-ordering. But it is worth checking out if you're into that series. The next one here is Ubel, or Ubel. I don't know how you pronounce her name. But the armpit lady from Frieren. She has her Nindroid up for pre-order now. I am very excited about this one. She's one of my favorite characters from that series. And I was not able to get Frieren or Fern with this set. I did have the next two. The red-headed guy and the blue-headed guy. I got both of them up for whenever they were up for pre-order. I got them pre-ordered, so now I'm going to get her, or I do already have her pre-ordered, so I am hoping to be able to get Frieren and Fern soon, and then that way I can complete this set, because it is one that I really want to complete, and I think we will get a lot from this set. We've already talked about it on here, or another video, about we're getting the chest thing, and then we're also getting another Frieren. So I'm going to say we're going to get a lot from this set. And I'm not upset with that. I think it's worth it. So interesting there. The final one here I'm going to talk about is the first of two that we know we're getting. It's freeing figures. They're not bunnies. They're actually like maid outfits here, and I think these are really interesting. And it's from the Cafe Terrace, and it's Goddesses. I've not watched this yet, but it is on my watch list to watch very soon. Season 2 is airing right now. But this is the first girl from that. And it's a really interesting figure because it is quarter scale, so it is very big. But it does have this like cloth goods like dress here, maid outfit, whatever. But it also can be removed to show the lingerie of it. I really like whenever they do this kind of stuff. I think it looks really nice. I already pre-ordered this one, not because I'm really into this character. I don't really know anything about her, but I like this outfit and I like the way that it's done. I really want to see this in person and see how well it's done seeing it in person. I am going to probably watch this before this figure comes out, so I'm not really worried about buying a figure of something that I don't like. But if you are interested in that, then go check it out. I think it is worth the price of this one. But that is pretty much it this week. There wasn't a whole lot, but it is something that I want to do going forward. So let me know what you think on these figures. Do any of them catch your eye? Are you going to pre-order any of them? And are there any other figures that I missed out on this week that you pre-ordered that were revealed this week? And I will be back next week to show you more figures or whatever that get announced this coming week. But that'll be it for the news segment. Let's go ahead and talk about our topic of the week. Now, this week's topic that I'd like to talk about is a bit of an interesting one, and it pretty much stems off of the recent developments from the 2.5 dimensional seduction anime that has been airing. So, if you have ever read the manga of this series, you will know that this is a very ecchi series, and that's kind of what makes it popular. And then obviously we found out whenever the anime began airing that they didn't necessarily censor it, but it is much less ecchi than what we got. And I think there is a debate to be had on should ecchi manga be made at all if it can't be an ecchi anime. I think there is a debate on both sides, and I'm going to try to debate both sides and tell you why it should not be made and why it should be made anyway. And my arguments are pretty much going to be Gushing Over Magical Girls versus My Dress Up Darling. So let's get right on into it. So first off, I'm going to argue why it should be made. Now, My Dress Up Darling has a lot of ecchi scenes in it. Most notably, we do see actual breast uncensored in the manga at least twice that I remember. I know we get it in the scene from season 1 where he walks in on the older sister. I know we see that uncensored, as well as Marin is uncensored in a much later chapter. So none of that's in the anime. It's all censored, rightfully so. And my reasoning with this one, at least, is that I think if you were to censor, or if you were to include those scenes, this anime would have not been as popular as it was. My Dress Up Darling ended up being this major hit because of, it had a likable protagonist, with Marin, and just it became this massive series. And if you had to say, hey, it's a mature rated series because of nudity or whatever, then you're going to run into this problem of, okay, you're going to have to put labels on it. Is it going to be able to be as widely of a celebrated series? Probably not. And I think, could 2.5 dimensional seduction have been to the level of My Dress Up Darling? I don't think so. I don't think it ever was going to achieve those heights that My Dress Up Darling was. I don't think it ever had a shot. And then my argument against that, and we'll talk about more in that in a second, but my argument against it is that Gushing Over Magical Girls took a manga that was not as ecchi as the series ended up being. The manga did not have detailed chest of these girls. The anime gave them detailed chest, And so now you're in this thing of you've made the series more ecchi. But the difference is that the anime completely blew everybody out of the water in being this massive hit. 2.5 Dimensional Seduction kind of falls into this middle ground to where it's never going to be as popular as My Dress Up Darling, but because it didn't commit to be as ecchi as it could have been and as the manga was, it's never going to get that same publicity that Gushing Over Magical Girls did. So what it's going to do is it's just never going to be remembered. It's going to be forgotten. And honestly, I'm already seeing that because I'm not seeing anybody talk about it. Obviously, I'm seeing the random pictures pop up about it. Other than that, it's just nothing. No one's like, hey, this scene was great. We're getting that with the Russian Girl anime. We're getting that with the Deer anime. But we're not getting that with this. And that's unfortunate. And I think if you were to make this anime ecchi, I think we would have been getting some of that. Now, is that what the creators wanted? Do they want to be known for, hey, there was this ecchi scene? That's what people are talking about. Maybe they don't. But here's the thing. If your ecchi scenes draw your crowd in, they watch the anime, and then they decide, hey, this anime is actually really good. Besides those ecchi scenes, I enjoy it. I'm going to continue to watch it. Then you've got an audience. You've got them hooked. And they're not really there for the ecchi scenes. Yeah, they enjoy them. And they're like, hey, that's what got me here. I am all for it. But I'm not here specifically for those because the anime hooked me besides that. The problem is that if nothing hooks your audience, no one's going to come check it out. And actually, you're going to drive away the people that wanted that authentic feel that the manga gave them. The difference with this and My Dress Up Darling is that this is a much more ecchi series than My Dress Up Darling. And My Dress Up Darling, I think actually went a little further with the anime than even this does. That can be argued, but I think it is an argument to be made. Now, is there a correct answer to this? No. You can argue both ways. Everybody will. But I personally think that there is more that could have been done in getting this to be a more ecchi series. As of right now, there is no word to be an uncensored version, so we're not going to be getting that. It's not like a plus-size elf where there's multiple versions. It's just not going to happen. So unfortunately, it just seems like this is going to be one of those anime that people are going to ask what could have been. And I don't know. I don't know what, could have been with this series. And, I kind of, I don't want to say I'm disappointed in it because, if this is the intention of the anime creators, then I'm not going to say they did the wrong thing. But am I going to say that they did the right thing? No. It's a tough argument, and you can make an argument both ways. Let me know what you think. I'm kind of up in the air on it, so like I said, let me know, and maybe we'll discuss this further as the series moves on, if we get any more word on if there's ever going to be an uncensored version or more stuff like that. But anyway, last week we did a pretty big topic, so we're not going to do a really long topic this week. So that's about it for the topic of the week, but let's move on. We have a lot more to talk about in the rest of the podcast, so stick around and let's see what our Q&A brings us for this week. Now, this is our Q&A section of the podcast. This is a segment where I answer your questions that you have for me every week. You can ask them anonymously. Down in the description, there is a link. You can ask them there, or you can ask a regular comment down below, and I will try to answer any of those as well every week that I think I would, offer good, answer to. So this week we have a few here that are really interesting, and let's start off with the first one, and this is probably the one that I'm going to talk about the most, and that is, what are your anime picks of the season so far? This is an interesting one because I think there's a few different answers to this. Obviously, the kind of standout hit for everybody, like fan wise, is the Isla. Uh, sometimes some Isla sometimes uh, speaks her feelings in Russian, tells her feelings in Russian. I don't remember the name of it. Shoot, but the Russian anime one. Um, but I think this one really is like going to be this hit of the summer. Obviously, it's got the little sister in it that showed down her shirt, and that got everybody going. It's got the feet scene in episode 1, and besides all that, once again, everybody's talking about these ecchi scenes, but everybody comes in and watches it, and they realize it's a really, really good series, and that's backing up my argument in the topic. And I think this is a really good anime. It's probably up there with my favorites. I don't know if it is my favorite, but it is one that I really enjoy. Another one that I enjoy that not a lot of people are talking about is My Wife Has No Emotion. I wasn't expecting a whole lot out of this anime. I was kind of expecting it to just be average, but I think it has turned out to be pretty good. The OP and the ED are both fantastic. I was not expecting them to be that good. The animation has been really good as well. The way that they are kind of making her animate and everything, I think is really good. I think it's kind of a sleeper hit of the summer, to be honest. Now, there's a few other ones here that I think could be interesting, and I haven't seen enough. I've seen what they've done so far, but it hasn't done enough for me to put it up into that like this is the best anime of the season. And just talking about a few of them, my dear friend no no koto no kotan. It's a fun one. Is it the best of the summer? Not in my opinion yet. It's very fun, and I enjoy it. I am having a fun time watching it. I think it's really well animated, but I don't think it has done enough for me yet to say this is the greatest of the season. I think it's very fun, and it's up there, but it's not quite to the top yet. The next one here is Too Many Losing Heroines. This is a really fun one. Now, it only has 2 episodes out so far, so it is a little bit behind other ones, so I'm not real confident in saying it's great yet, but it has had some really good moments, and I think character-wise, it's really good. The main girl is fantastic. This week we got a little bit to learn about Lemon Chan, which I think is a fantastic name, and she is a great character design. So I'm really excited to learn more about these characters, to learn more about this whole, world or whatever with this random, very convoluted love triangle or, zigzag path that we got going here. And I think it could be very interesting going forward. And I'm looking forward to that. And also the humor in it is really good. And I actually would probably put this above the Deer anime. But we'll have to see. It's still very early on, and it could go very, could get much better, could get much worse. We'll have to see. I still think it's a little bit too early to really know anything about any of these. But another one here is Days with My Stepsister. I'm really enjoying this, and it's one that I think not everybody's, it's not going to be for everybody, and not the fact that they're step siblings. That's beyond the point. But this is a very dialogue heavy series, and that it does not really worry about really good shot scenes, doesn't really worry about animation. It worries about, hey, is the dialogue working? Is the acting good? And I think the acting is great. I think the dialogue is great. Now, obviously, it's a light novel, it's being adapted, but I still think it's very good. And I think we will be getting a lot of good moments out of this series with the way they're going. The music in it is great. This is a different type of anime than a lot of people are used to, and I don't think a lot of people are talking about that yet, about how it's very dialogue heavy. You're not getting those scenes to where, hey, look, cleavage, or hey, look, action shot, whatever. It's very just walking scenes, or they're sitting at the table talking. I like anime like that. It's really hard to do them right, and that's what I'm worried about, that they won't be able to do it right. It'll kind of feel cheap, and I think they're right on the edge of that right now. But I think if they continue to go along the path they're going on, I think it can work out. You gotta have a little bit of animation, otherwise it doesn't work. And I think they're really close to that line, but they are so far so good. We will see how this one goes as the season goes on. But my senpai is in Otokonoko. It's okay. I'm not really gonna say that it's great yet. I enjoy it and I think it's fun. There's a few good scenes. I've not watched the newest episode, but everything else is, it's good so far. Like I said, kind of with the other one, I'm not ready to say that it's the greatest of the summer. It's kind of like on that same level with My Dear Friend. It's close, but not there yet. That is about it that I'm really confident in saying anything about, and that it's the best. Is there any that's bad? No. I think that's kind of what makes this season good, is that there's nothing really bad. Now, one thing that I am noticeably not talking about is Oshinoko Season 2. I'm actually not watching Oshinoko yet. I'm going to save it until the end of the season, kind of binge it at the end, because I think Season 1 would have worked better if I was to binge it. I think Season 2 will probably be the same way. That's what I'm doing. I'm going to save it until like week 8, then come through and just binge all the way through and watch the final like 3 or 4 leading up to the finale of Season 2, and we'll see how that goes. But that's about it for that question. Thank you so much for that question. The next one here is, have you ever been to Japan? If not, do you have any desire or plans to go? Actually, I have not been to Japan, but I do have plans to go. So I'll be going next year in April. Star Wars Celebration, which I am going to talk about Star Wars here in a minute, but Star Wars Celebration will be in Japan next April, and I will be heading there to go to Celebration as well as to check out Japan in general. I've actually been making a kind of, wish list of things I want to go to in Japan. Kind of some anime scene or anime locations that I think would be fun to see. The K-On! High School, the shrine from Love Live, the Your Name Steps. Obviously, I'm not going just to see anime stuff, but I think it'd be fun to kind of check them off as I'm going through there. And obviously, I'm wanting to go to like the Hiroshima Memorial. Being a history fan, or not history fan, history, like, I like to learn about history. That is something that I think is such a historical moment in history that I really want to go see it for myself. I want to pay my respects to it and the people that were lost there. I want to go see that. Kyoto, Osaka, I want to see all that. Obviously, I like to go to Universal. I like to go to Disney, Tokyo Disney. So there's a lot that I want to see, and I will obviously be making videos about it if we're still going by that point, which hopefully we are. Nothing happens, but we will hopefully be going strong by then, and I will show you guys my trip as I go. But that is about it for that question. Now the final one here, we've been getting some kind of fun ones here the past few weeks, and this one is no different. Now I'm not going to voice this one the same way they did, so I'm going to say, would I rather go out for a night on the town with Takagi-san, or Chizuru? Now, for legal reasons, I'm going to say we're going to talk about the adult version of Takagi, and I'm going to still say Chizuru because I kind of like Chizuru a little bit better in terms of a attractive woman. That is just me. Obviously, I know that would be different for some people, and I still love Taki. I think she's a great character. She's probably my top 3 all time, but in terms of a more attractive anime character, Chizuru fits that bill, no doubt in my mind. Now, that will be it for the Q&A section of this podcast. If you want to ask a question, don't forget you can ask that in the comments or in that link down in the description. You can do it anonymously there. So thank you to the people that asked question, and I will be back next week to answer some more. But now let's move on to a new segment of the podcast. We have another new segment, and I think this one will be pretty fun. So, I have kind of ran into a problem to where since I have started doing shorts only 3 times a week, and sometimes I miss those because I don't have them ready yet. But that means that a lot of these cheaper figures that are under that $50 price tag that I would normally make shorts out of, I have so many of them that need to be unboxed, and I just can't because I'm so far behind, and I don't want to drag them out and have them sitting on the back burner for a month. So we're going to unbox one every week and check it out and see what it's like. So let's go ahead and do that. Now this is a Sakura Miku. If you're unaware, Miku has a few different versions of her. This is the Sakura version, which is like the cherry blossom version. Now I don't have any of the Sakura Mikus yet, but this one was the first one that I got. And I did order this from Entertainment Earth. So if you ever say, well, you don't get your stuff from Entertainment Earth, you get it from Big Bad Toy Store, or you get it from you get it from Ami Ami. This one I got from Entertainment Earth. And let's go ahead and unbox her here and see how she is. Now, I don't know what brand this is. Oh, it's a Title brand. Yeah, you can see it there. And they are usually pretty good. So let's go ahead and get her out of here. Oh, there we go. Okay, so you can see there. Now, I won't be doing any close-ups of her here, but I'll just give you kind of a look in the camera there. Obviously, with Hatsune Miku, we have to put on her hair, and it is really cool here. You get these little cherries on there. Kind of adds a little bit to her character, in my opinion. They are really big on this one, that's for sure. We do get this little thing here that I think goes in her hand. We will put that on here in a moment. So let's get the other hair piece out of here. And get that in there. I think. How does it go? Maybe it goes in the other one. I don't know. We're going to figure it out here. Oh, I had them backwards. Usually they don't let you put them in backwards, but this one did, so interesting case there. But yeah, there you go. Very cute indeed. Now let's go ahead and get her base off here. Now this is a pretty cute base, I will already tell you that. If I can get it out of here. Now, obviously, I know this is not a good thing for an audio podcast, but I think it was a fun idea. Let me know if you enjoy this type of thing to be added to the podcast, or if you would rather not see this in the podcast. If you don't, and you want to just say, hey, I'm not a big fan of that segment, let me know, because I'm not upset by it. I just would like to try new things and see if you guys enjoy it. But I really like this one. I think it turned out really well. She looks very cute, and I like the pink look. It's different from the blue look, and yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. And what you think of the new segment. Do you want more of this, or do you not really want that? I did forget to put her little flower in her hand here. We'll go ahead and do that. But yeah, very cute. I'm very happy with that. But that will be this segment of the video. Let's move on to our next segment, which will be our off-topic segment. Now, this week on the off-topic segment of the podcast, we are going to be talking about the Acolyte. The Acolyte is now over, and we have a few things to talk about. Now, I will be going into a little bit of spoilers on this week, but nothing major. If you have not watched the entire series and you do want to go watch it, maybe skip a little bit of this podcast, but if you don't really care, go ahead and listen, because I was kind of both pleased and displeased. There was a few things that I really enjoyed with the finale, That being, we obviously got Plagueis in it, we obviously got Yoda in it, but we did also, and one thing that the internet has been blowing up about that I found really cool was we got to see a lightsaber being bled in live action. We haven't got to see that yet. I was very happy to see that. I thought it was really cool. Um, and you can say, well, that breaks canon, or that not how that's supposed to work. Why couldn't Anakin do that? I think you can argue a lot of things as to why Anakin couldn't do that and why she was able to do that. I think Anakin always had deep down things that were pulling him back to the light. There was always that feeling that he was being a disappointment. I think he always lived with that, even in his worst moments to where he was doing awful things. I think it was still there. And to say, you know, that maybe he couldn't bleed his lightsaber or his crystal as easily as others because deep down, which is where the crystal should be getting its power from, it was still saying, you're not the Sith you want to be. But with Osha, you're getting this, everything she has known is a lie. And she, in that moment, and maybe permanently, is thinking, the Sith are really, they're the ones for me. They're the ones that will treat me better. They're what I really want, and I think this is showing that. And I think it's a great way of describing it more than you'd think. And I'm not really upset with how it went. I think it went good. But besides that, was I happy with the deaths that happened with obviously Soul? Yeah, I saw it coming. I hated that because I really like Soul, but I saw it happening. I saw it coming. As for the whole series in general, obviously Vanestra ended up not being that important. Everybody thought she was going to be a Sith. She ended up not being a Sith, as far as we know. But we do know that her apprentice was the Stranger whenever he was a Jedi. What we get with that, I don't know. We have not got any word on season 2. I would imagine it's coming, but probably not for at least 2 or 3 years. So, we'll have to wait. But overall, I don't hate the Acolyte as much as other people do. I like it more than Book of Boba Fett. I like it more than Mando season 3, and I think I could argue that I like it more than Obi-Wan. There's parts of Obi-Wan that I like better than the Acolyte, but there's a lot of the Acolyte that I like better than Obi-Wan. I'm up in the air on it. But, overall, I just don't think it's something that I'm gonna really come back to ever. I'm never gonna say, hey, I want to watch this clip from it. There's points in Andor. I go back to Andor a lot. There's parts in Obi-Wan that I go back to a lot. There's parts in Mando I go back to a lot. I don't really ever go back to anything in Boba Fett, but there's parts in Ahsoka that I go back to a lot. There's 1 or 2 moments that I think I'll go back to with the Acolyte, and that's it. And I just don't think there was anything major in it that I'm like, that was amazing, and I can't wait to see more of that. Plagueis is interesting, but that's because Plagueis already existed, and we knew Plagueis existed. I'd love to see more of the Stranger, but to be honest, I would much rather just have a series talking about the Sith. I don't need this Jedi mystery. I don't need the Jedi really at all. I just need the Sith because they're a more interesting group at this time, and they should be. But what do I know? It's just, in some regards, it's great. In some, I just don't care. So overall, a decent series that could have been a lot better. And I'm not like, we don't need a season 2. I will watch season 2 as soon as it airs, if it does come. So that's just my opinion. I don't really have a whole lot more to say because there's just not a whole lot more to say. It's just something that exists, and I was pleasantly happy with it. Not I wasn't amazed, but I wasn't disappointed majorly. So yeah, that's about it. But what did you think? Did you watch The Acolyte? You know, are you super excited about it? Next week, we have been going on this like Acolyte or NASCAR topic. NASCAR is not racing next week, and the Acolyte is now done. So we're going to have another off-topic segment next week, and it'll be something else. So stay tuned for that. I'll find something to talk about between now and then. And don't worry, it will not be politics. So stay tuned. Now, finally, before I go, we do have a few videos coming up this week. The first of which on Monday will be a freeing video. We did unbox the Dragon Maid figure in the Ami Ami box, and I actually left you on a cliffhanger of if it was damaged or not. And you'll have to tune into the Monday video to find out if it was damaged inside or if it was just the box. On Wednesday, we will not be having an anime video. We will be having another anime collectibles video, and that will be a Licorice Recoil uniform official cosplay, like unboxing and displaying it and review. It is something that I'm really happy with how it turned out, even though I did have some audio trouble in it, but that's beside the point. I did really enjoy getting that and unboxing it and setting it up and everything, so stay tuned for that. I really think that turned out well. And then also we have a really cool video where I changed the way I do unboxings. This will be a change going forward, but I tried it out for the first time with a Hatsune Miku with Cinema Roll crossover Nindroid thing that will be going up on Friday. So stay tuned for all of those. I'm very excited for all of them coming up. Hopefully, I'm hoping to get the Sound Euphonium video to be up the week after on Wednesday, so stay tuned for that. We do have a few other videos coming as well. We have a whole stack of figures here that I got to unbox. I was originally going to do a Attack on Titan shelf review and how to make the shelf and everything, but I've changed my mind. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to make a different video about Attack on Titan Funko Pops and where the future really lies with that, because we're done. There's none announced that haven't been released, so that's going to be an interesting video that'll probably be up on Monday of the following week, so stay tuned for that as well. But anyway, that will be about it actually for this week's podcast. Let me know what you thought. It is a bit of a shorter one than normal, but like I said, last week was an hour and 20 minutes, so this week you're getting a little bit of a brief one here. Kind of enjoy it on your Sunday night or Monday morning or whenever time you are watching this. If you did make it this far in the video, let me know down below. Did you enjoy the podcast? What changes do you think I should make going forward that would improve this even more? Because I do really appreciate the few of you that watch all the way through to the end. You guys are fantastic. But anyway, that will be it for this week. I hope you will check out the videos this week as well as previous ones if you have missed them. And that'll be all. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.